If you're an e-commerce brand owner, I can guarantee you that you're making at least one of the mistakes that I'm gonna cover today, because you see, I audit multiple Klaviyo accounts every single week, and at least I spot like between 3 and 4 of the mistakes that I'm gonna cover in this video every single day, pretty much. So with that being said, let me dive into the 7 biggest Klaviyo mistakes costing you thousands of dollars per month right now. First one being having double opt-in activated. So what is double opt-in? Double opt-in is when someone signs up to your email list through your pop-up and then they receive an extra email to confirm their subscription. So this is actually activated by default by Klaviyo, and it actually adds a ton of friction to the entire funnel, because someone has to give you their email, which is already, a ton of friction, and then on top of that, they need to confirm their subscription, and most people actually forget to do that. For example, I subscribed to an email list recently, and then I received the actual it looks like this essentially from Klaviyo. And so again, you'll be losing like at least 50% of your audience by having this activated. So how to deactivate it? Well, when you go to list and segments in your Klaviyo account, go to the actual list that's connected to your pop-up. So let's say it's gonna be, I don't know, let me choose this one, newsletter. And then here you go to settings, consent, and then typically, as you see here, this is double opt-in is activated, which is no good. Again, you want to make sure this is set as single opt-in. Otherwise, again, you'll be requiring your new subscribers to confirm the subscription before being added to the list, and then as a consequence, essentially have a ton of friction in there, and then reduce your sign-up rate tremendously, essentially. So that's the first mistake, and one of the biggest ones, to be honest with you, because if you get less people through your pop-up, and that's another point I'm going to cover later, then of course you'll be generating less revenue with email marketing, essentially. So that's the first mistake, having double opt-in activated. Again, this is activated by default, so turn that off right away. Second mistake is blasting your entire email list, so having no segmentation whatsoever. So why is segmentation important? Because more relevant content offers to that specific segment, let's say purchasers versus non-purchasers, equals more money generated. Also, by having segmentation, you improve your open rates, click rates, and thus improve your deliverability as well. And then, because you'll be able to save money with your ESP, Klaviyo, Omnisend, SendLink, whatever it is, because you can clean up your list, because you know these people are not engaged, they will not engage anymore ever again, so let's get rid of them, essentially. Too many brands have a blast mentality where they actually have the same generic messaging for their entire email list, even though, again, different people are in different stages of the customer journey to become a customer of yours, right? Some people already purchased from you, some people already purchased 3 times for you, so like VIPs, for example. Some people haven't really purchased from you, so those 3 buckets, for example, need different messaging in general, okay? So yeah, too many brands have a blast mentality. It is important to maximize resources, of course, so not hyper segmenting, right? Which is the whole other end of the spectrum, which is no good either. However, most people do the total opposite, which is not segmenting whatsoever, okay? So that's the second mistake, making sure you segment properly. Third mistake is having damaged deliverability. So what's the point of having great emails if they land in the spam folder? You'll be wasting resources, you'll be wasting time, etc. Because you're super happy with your emails, they look great, they have great offers, whatever. They have great, offers in relation to the actual segment, but they're landing in the spam folder. So you're basically wasting your time doing that. Most of the time, people think that they have fine deliverability because open rates are looking fine, like above 30%, 40%. But it doesn't really mean that deliverability is not damaged at all, right? For some clients, for example, we've realized that for some inbox providers, it is actually damaged. So it might not be damaged for, let's say, Gmail, but it is damaged for Outlook, Hotmail, right? If that's the case, I'm gonna show you how to identify that. But if that's the case, then you need to optimize for those specific inbox providers. I actually create a guide on how to essentially fix your damaged deliverability, so feel free to check that out. But essentially, how you check if some of the inbox providers are damaged, you go to here, you scroll down on the left menu, you go to dashboards, analytics dashboards, and then you go to overview dashboard, which is gonna be the default one. You scroll down, And then this section right here is not gonna be added by default, so I'm gonna delete it just to show you exactly how it looks. So you go here, add card, and then you search email deliverability by email domain. You click in there, add data view, it gets added at the bottom, and then here you'll be able to see, I can select a different time period. Let's do 90 days, it's fine. And then I can see, for example, well, this is looking fine for all the inbox providers. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good to be honest. But let's say, for example, like all the numbers looking good for Hotmail, iCloud, Yahoo, whatever. But let's say for Gmail, we are hitting a 20% open rate. So in that case, we need to optimize for Gmail and start sending for Gmail specifically, like to very tight segments, like 15 days for to get started, 30, 60, and so on for Gmail specifically. Okay. So that's the second mistake is, third mistake, sorry, is having damaged deliverability. Fourth one is not having all the core flows. So most people think like they have all the flows, all the core flows. However, most of them are missing at least like 3 or 4. So you need to have a welcome series. You need to have a site abandon, product abandon, abandon cart, abandon checkout, post-purchase sequence, where you can have upsells and stuff like that, a customer win-back series, VIP flow as well, and then for cleaning up your list, like a sunset and engage flow as well. For example, like most people think like they have the abandoned cart, but they have an abandoned checkout and they don't have the abandoned cart. What is the difference? So let's go to a website, right? So the abandoned checkout is when, let's say I want to add this to the cart, right? So I select the size, add to bag, and then here I go to checkout, right? And then I go through the entire process. I leave my email, and then you leave the website. That's the abandoned checkout, right? However, when someone adds to cart, let's say again, let's go through another journey. Let's go here, and then let's say I wanna buy this right here. I add to bag, and then at this point I leave the website. This is the abandoned cart. So it's 2 different journeys, and most people only have the first one I covered, and not the abandoned cart one, right? So make sure, take a screenshot of this if you want, but make sure you have all the core flows set up. Otherwise, you'll be leaving a lot of money on the table. And these are just the core flows. These are like must-have flows. Of course, you have more advanced ones, but if you have these right here, you'll be pretty much set for life, essentially. Another mistake we see all the time, and this is, I'm gonna tie this back to the double opt-in mistake right there, but essentially is not having a decent pop-up that's actually converting optimally. So what is optimal? I would say above 4% for both mobile and desktop is optimal. That's pretty good. If you get like a 5, 6, 7, 8, even 10, 12, then of course that's actually great. Now, there's a caveat, is it is really important to have a healthy sign-up rate. However, it is also very important to make sure like the lead to conversion rate is very optimal as well. Because let's say we're running a giveaway offer versus a percentage off offer. The giveaway offer, so sign up to enter a giveaway, might get more people in through the pop-up. However, those people are not prompt to buy, and the lead to conversion rate is really, really low, which doesn't make any sense. You'll be having more people into your Klaviyo account, so paying more for Klaviyo, but less people actually purchase from it, right? However, with the percentage off, for example, you get less people, but more high quality people prompt to buy. So in that case, it makes more sense. You have to do the calculations and see which one makes more sense. But essentially, having a decent pop-up is one of the most important things. As I've said multiple times, your sign-up form, so your sign-up unit, pop-up, whatever you want to call it, is the backbone of your entire email marketing strategy. Low sign-up rate equals way lower email revenue because you'll be having less people enter your email funnels, right? So if you have less people entering your flows, etc., and less people signing up, then of course you'll be relying way too much on your already current audience instead of like growing your email list, which is the main goal. Growing your email list with high quality people, that is. Okay? Again, as I mentioned before, aim for 4% or higher, obviously. And very important, optimize for desktop and mobile separately. You don't want to have the same pop-up for desktop and mobile because you need a different design, but most importantly, different triggers as well. Now, when it comes to the elements of a pop-up, the most important one by far is always going to be the offer, right? So design, copy, triggers are very important, but the biggest needle mover by far is always going to be the offer. So again, giveaway, percentage off, a fixed discount, a free gift with first purchase, free shipping, whatever it is. That's the first thing you need to test, A/B test, right? So that's another mistake. Another one is using smart sending in core flows. So smart sending will skip anyone who received an email within the last 16 hours by default, right? If this is activated. So let's say you have an abandoned checkout flow, and the abandoned checkout, the emails of the abandoned checkout, they have this turned on. So it's smart sending. And let's say you send a campaign like 10 hours earlier, and then that person actually abandoned the cart because of that campaign. They will not receive the abandoned cart emails because this is activated, which doesn't make any sense. And again, this is turned on by default. So make sure when you're on a flow, for example here, let's say this is a dummy flow I just created, make sure you scroll down here and then you turned off this, right? And then save for all of your emails in your email flows, the core flows, especially abandoned checkout, abandoned cart, welcome series, stuff like that. It is really important that you actually turn these off for those flows, because this is one of the first few mistakes I made when I got started. Well, not few mistakes, I made a lot of mistakes, but this is one of the first mistakes I made when we started the agency like 4 years ago and just started working with e-commerce clients. We had this turn on with some of the flows, and then we lost a bunch of money because of this. So make sure you turn this off, okay? And then finally, which is a concept I've pretty much covered, I don't know how many times in this channel, but it is really crucial that your designs are ATF optimized. What is ATF? Above default. So what is above default? It's everything that comes before the first scroll in your mobile when you look at an email, right? So that first section, that first section before the first scroll is the most important one, because your ATF section is your hook. It's pretty much for a Facebook ad what the hook is, right? So the main offer, main angle of the email should be clearly communicated right away in that specific part of the email. So the first part of the email, because you don't want to waste valuable real estate, as most people skim through the emails and they just read the headline, right? If on the above default section there's nothing, or very vague, or it doesn't really explain what the email is about, then people are just gonna close the email 100%. For example, here in this example right here, we can clearly see that this is pretty much optimized. I mean, if I'm of course I'm viewing this email on my desktop, but if I was to look at it on my mobile, I would actually have this first section. I mean, this for sure, this headline right here with Scoot Smarts up to 30% off now, and then plus the CTA and some text right here to accompany the headline. I would actually have this above default, and I'll be able to know exactly what the email is about and potentially purchase right away. However, if I didn't have this right here and all the copy right here would be like all the way down, then of course I wouldn't be as interested, and I would probably like close again the email, and then you'll be leaving thousands of dollars on the table because of this. So yeah, make sure the ATF, the above default section, is optimized. I've got many videos on how to optimize the ATF, so I'm gonna link some here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me make myself bigger right here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're running an e-commerce brand doing over 100K per month right now, and you want a reliable email marketing team to handle your email marketing, all the way from content ideation, core flows, campaign ideation, offer creation, scheduling, and making sure you are hitting the inbox folder and not the spam folder, then feel free to reach out to me. A link to my scheduler, it's in the description box below, so feel free to book a time works for you so we can go over your Klaviyo account, see if we can help you put together a specific plan of attack. If we can help you, then at that point I'll make you an offer, and if it makes sense for you financially, then we'd be more than happy to work with you. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.